Liquid on the high ground. Biver. Oh no. On the runes. It's sort of in terms of lane setup. So when you look at both of the carries, who is going to have the easier time? Like are either of these safe laners going to suffer early?
Ursa pretty much never suffers when he has Keeper of the Light. It allows you to just spam your Urshock for CS. It's not the best lane matchup against Slardar, but ever since they gave Ursa all the status resistance, that matchup's been way better than it used to be, because Ursa used to be countered by consistent stun lock. But like Kyle said, he needs a BKB because he's against the Death Prophet Morph, but he's also against the Slardar, who's going to reduce all of his armor. So he's going to need a lot of items, and he's going to have to get, I would say, almost a near perfect start to feel good this game.
Yeah. And pretty much, is it sort of every game now as an Ursa that you get the Battle Fury? Do you ever really skip that item anymore?
The game has to be looking pretty ugly, I think, for you to be skipping a Battle Fury.
Yeah.
And even then, you probably want to consider it. The whole hero's kit just fights so well with very few items, and the only issue he has is regen and the lack of ability to accelerate his farm, and Battle Fury just does everything for the hero. And it's a decent damage item in team fights because you do cleave off of the Fury swipes.
Yeah. And sort of on the other side for Mickey this game is this going to be a match where he's going to be able to get away with rushing the E-Blade, or do you think he's going to be forced to get the Manta on the build-up this game?
I wouldn't be too surprised by like a Manta Lincoln Sphere this game.
Okay.
He can either go for the all-out aggression, or the fact is they have Grimstroke Beastmaster. They just have so much single target threat to him that I feel like it's hard to play around. But if he's allowed to be going in last in fights, he should be able to itemize more aggressively.
See down bottom. And getting some good damage here onto Mickey. But not quite enough to take him down. And how are they looking for regen down in between the two of them, Mickey? Yeah, still plenty of tangos. So he's more than fine against this bit of chip harassment from the two of them. How we're going in the mid lane. 9, 12 for 1 against the 8 for 0. Koifa going to struggle here underneath the tower as 9 getting some heavy harass on him. Now, one or rather close.
That mid lane's pretty much a trade. Both heroes have reliable nukes. They don't really have individual kill threat. It's going to come down to the Earthshaker and Tusk contesting the runes at 4 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. We'll definitely see both heroes make their moves over there in a minute. As bottom lane still doing a decent job of sort of pushing 33 back away from the wave, making sure that Mickey has uninterrupted farm down here. Whereas up top, as we can see, Boxy getting just about the same out of this lane as Skeeter is. Able to get some good grabs of the creep waves as well. Get it deep behind the tower for the meet up. As mid lane 9, he's going in. He's going to have another nuke in a few seconds. If he lands this... Oh, and he does! Ooh. And he does. He's got it. 9 with the first blood. I mean, that very nicely done there. I thought Koifa might be able to sort of sidestep it, but 9, he was in his head.
Yeah, it's even more crippling because there are 3 creeps running into the tower range, and now the other creep wave gets into tower range, so he misses 6 creeps on top of the death.
Yeah, very nicely done there by 9. Top stuff indeed. And look, he's ready for round 2. Coming out in the courier, he's got the stick, 2 mangoes, and a brand new bottle. So 9's going to be very ready to fight again. We're going to get to see it once more here. Did have the Fairy Fire, of course, but I think even if he popped that, he may have done anyway.
He did pop it, it just wasn't enough.
And there we have it. Beautifully lined up by 9. Up top. They are going to be able to get Insane here. Can they get Boxy as well? Skeeter's going to run him down. And he's going to hold his ground with the crush, but the swipes are stacking up. And, okay, sprints back up. There's the Earthshock. Oh, it's a little too deep, though. They'll hold back. They won't dive any further. But nonetheless, a kill for the two of them on that top lane.
Yeah, pretty much all these lines scale incredibly well damage-wise when it comes to levels. Everyone just, coddle plus the Shocker Magic plus Earthshock. Beastmaster gets really strong every time he puts another point in the boars. Tag team for Tusk. And no surprise that suddenly kills are happening all over the map. There's a lot of kill duos in this game.
Absolutely. Lots of things to watch out when the movements start to come into play. See how things are going on bottom there. 33 started to keep himself right up. Each and every time Very hard for Tiger and Mickey, it seems, to get aggressive onto these two. There's just so much sort of stun potential to turn around and just allow 33 to pummel into them. That's mid. There we saw as well, 9. He was able to get himself that DD rune, so definitely falling behind a little bit here on the XP, quite for about a full level between the two here on mid.
When you get denies, obviously it's half XP, so when he misses 6 creeps like that, it's basically 12 denies.
Or Biver. He might just go down here, snowball in play. Able to close the gap there and catch the two of them a little away from the lane, and Biver in a bit of a scary position. Mid lane Insania, he's heading over around this sort of 6-minute rune time. Wants to make sure that 9 doesn't get himself another power rune. Fada in position to prepare a lot of stacks for Skeeter in the jungle. See where the 6-minute rune will drop. They're going to play for it on the bottom, and it's going to be top. And still, though, they've got fully positioned support. Fada here as well. Quaitfa's trying to head over, and he's not going to be able to make it. And he is very, very dead. I mean, you can't run from that, Brian. Solar Pine and Inkswell.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen an Inkswell coddle gank in my days of Dota, but early on, yeah, he does move really fast, and the fissure block secures the fact that the Inkswell stun will go off. That's pretty funny, though, when you think about it out loud.
Top Boxy. He's trying to stand his ground there against a Skeeter. Insania is around. They might actually just turn towards Insania instead. As yeah, they've got to be careful. They've got to respect the bear. You know, Skeeter, he's level 6. He's got the enrage, so he's not too scared at all about these two trying to get aggressive onto him.
There's just so many carries in Dota right now that appreciate having to not buy any mana items. As you're seeing Skeeter, he's allowed to go for the Ring of Health. Usually you would have to go for some like Clarities or Wraithband, some stat item that gives you that extra couple Earth Shocks, but in this case, just has the wand to trade with, and he gets to spam his Earth Shock to be aggressive, and it just makes it so you spend so much less gold to enable yourself in the early game so that you can then hit your timings so much sooner.
Down bottom Tiger, having to protect himself here with the snowball. Well, managed to clean up the 2 boars. That's
the real hero right there. He ganked the boars.
And we're seeing as well, you know, Mickey, he's getting a fair few denies in, as he is having a great time. Yeah, 33 still not able to hit the level 6 because of how much Mickey's been able to control that bottom lane. 43 and 19 on the morph here.
Yeah, a lot of times on morph, you like to push the tower early, but against Beastmaster, your goal is to keep your tower alive, so you just want to stagnate it near your tower like Mickey's doing, just denying as many creeps as he can. Really slows down Beastmaster's timing, as it looks like he's queuing up the Necro book. Obviously, it's going to be coming out around 10 minutes, it looks like.
Yeah, not necessarily the fastest, but of course it's still going to be there at a time where that lane becomes a little scarier for someone to remain on their own in, with the offensive potential of the Beastmaster. Skeeter cleaning up some of the farm that was prepped for him in the jungle, as he can do with that Ring of Health, and also getting the Fairy's Trinket. That will be a very happy 9 Grimstroke, I would imagine. That's Tiger and Insania.
It's just so nice on these spellcasters, man. It's just so good.
I mean, it's the best tier 1 for that sort of hero. Absolutely.
You always got one hero in the game that wants that item.
Yeah.
At least one.
I mean, yeah. If no one's happy to find it, then something's probably gone wrong with the draft.
Yeah, you probably have a 5 carry TK draft.
I mean, that happens. Bottom lane. Good movement here from 9. Perfect time to roam there. As the focus from Liquid is around this mid, they're trying to get in onto Fada. There's going to be TP reactions coming in. Fada will go down. Quaitfa, he wants to commit it, but the Exorcism takes a huge stroke of fate to the face, though, as Quaitfa has got to keep to the edge here. He can't commit with the Siphon. Skeeter's on top of him. Quaitfa blocked in by the Fissure from Biver, and he can't get out. Enchant turn on Quaitfa. He's running. Can he escape? There's another slow with the Earthshock. Tiger coming in with a snowball, but Skeeter's able to get in. The final hit takes down Quaitfa. Skeeter will fall. But a defense from Tundra comes into play, and that's the first Exorcism down the drain, and the tier 1 kept very healthy.
These fissures from Biver have been sick so far. Boxy, though, is getting some me time top, something Slardar desperately needs as an offlane hero, and he might even be able to take this tower, something that hero usually does not do at all.
Yeah, and it's it's Boxy. He's a scary man when he gets a good start. Bottom lane, Mickey and Tiger sees an opportunity to move in and take down 33. They'll get the kill. Of course, as you can see on the net worth with all this action and 9 still reigning supreme, he is on track to have what's probably going to be one of the quicker E-Blades that we've seen on the Grim. This is going to be a very good speed for him.
I think we're going to be seeing much more Tusk as DPC goes on. I think it's really good against all these annoying strength offlaners. You don't normally have the damage to kill them with 1 or 2 heroes, but when you bring Tusk into the equation, these Timber Saws, these Beastmasters, Tide Hunters, they actually melt this early on in the game, and slowing down the momentum of these beefy heroes makes it so it's so much easier to kill them later too. But as looks like Liquid's looking to counter-rotate on this Beastmaster pressure here.
Yeah, they need to protect Mickey. Shards out to Biver. They're going to start things onto the Shaker, but the Inkswell and the Phantom Embrace is out. Dropping the Slam as well to make sure that Tiger can't get anything else out onto Biver, as he'll keep himself alive, take down the Shaker, and now, yeah, Mickey's going to have to slowly move away from this bottom half of the map with the 3 of them down here.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It's a little too spooky of a place to be. Skeeter able to continue to just sort of de-push on the mid lane, and there it is. Towers down. Finally able to take it. It's going to speed up 33's further levels on the Necro book, and we do have... Well, we're going to have a happy Mickey finding pretty much the best tier 1 for a Morphling, Brian.
Oh yeah, that's the dream as well. 7% lifesteal on Morphling specifically is insane just because of the sheer HP to agility ratio you got going.
Dude, and also getting the jelly. I mean, Mickey, he's in a happy place right now.
Dude, when you get Possessed Mask and Royal Jelly,
is there anything better, Brian? You know?
I don't know if there's a better feeling in Dota, at least in the current patch. As a carry, you're just like, Gaben has smiled upon me today.
Let's see, yeah. Let's see what Mickey's able to do with it. As his game's still in a good position. I mean, him and Skeeter, it's close. I mean, we're 12 minutes in. There's 1K in it. That big difference really being the way things have gone down for the mids. 9 just being able to pop off that little bit more. 3-0-2. And he's not stopping. Invis Rune picked up. He's making his way down bottom. See if 33 is able to move over and connect. I don't know if he's going to be able to get this kill on his own. Maybe if Mickey was super low. But Mickey keeping a decent amount of strength built up. He hasn't gone full Agi. You know, never go full Agi.
He knows he's in the super dangerous area of the map. Yeah. He doesn't see Shaker. Or excuse me, he doesn't see the Ursa. He doesn't see the Grimstroke. So he just knows that any 2 heroes on the Dire team, if he gets silenced or stunned, can absolutely provide the burst damage required to bring him down. So smart play from him there.
We're going to see the big moves from Liquid now. Boxy, Blink Dagger, 12 minutes. See what they can find. They'll take 9 or Skeeter. They're the big ones. 9 would be the dream target. They know that he's building up towards the Eagle Song for his E-Blade. They can slow that down. It's going to make their game a whole lot easier. 33. They'll sell for him. He's going to show. He's nice and easy to kill. They know that there's going to be no time for any sort of backup to come into play. And of course, with the Corrosive and the Walrus Punch, they can break through him very quickly. See if they can clean up some of these summons as well. A little too speedy for Boxy to deal with. So I would
argue Beastmaster's probably their best target, just because not like they want to necessarily kill the Beastmaster.
Sure.
But the way Beastmaster works is you kind of have to go through him to get to his team. So by killing him now, it should mean that they will have a better chance of being able to gank the other cores later.
That's true. And I guess sort of as a hero, Beastmaster, he doesn't want to really be behind, right? Like the sort of the split push threat's going to be much less if the team on the other side has got a few items and can kill him very easily.
Exactly. The turn potential of Beastmaster is also pretty nuts. So if you ever go on somebody else early when Beastmaster's at his peak,
yeah, and
he's like somewhere near them at all, he'll just wrap around you, get a roar on somebody, and all of his summons will just go to work.
Oh, see. Back in the mid, how's 9 doing with that item timing? Yeah, it's a few hundred gold, and the E-Blade's going to be done on 9. You can imagine that once that is there, we'll have some smoke movement come into play. Tundra, I've got that combo, Soulbind with the E-Blade, 2-man Roar, and a solid follow-up from Biver. Biver's progress on the Blink Dagger, 1500. He's making it. Biver, as Boxy, he's heading over, fully under wards though. Keeping himself at a distance here, making sure not to get the blink cancelled by all these summons. And very hard for Boxy to get in. They still want this mid tower. Quaifer's ready to go for another push here with the ghosts out. We'll see how much...
He doesn't have his Jules yet.
Yeah, he's still a little vulnerable if Tundra's able to set up onto him. Fodder starting to lay down the blast. They're keeping their distance here. Maybe want to get the setup onto Insania. Soulbind down, into the stroke of fate. Boxy tries to jump in, but he misses the crush. He's not able to find an initial target. Tries to turn towards 9, but now he's got to run. Raw down onto Insania. The summon's still out as the Necro Book beats through the Rubik. The tower will go down, but now Tiger's in trouble as well. He cannot escape from this. He'll try and shard his way to safety, but can't quite get the angle. So they get the tower, but they lose a couple of heroes for it. And we're seeing those big items get done for Tundra. Battle Fury complete on Skeeter, and E-Blade, it's done for 9.
Yeah, this is the effect of Coddle, if you just look at Skeeter's inventory. Like, usually on Ursa, you need that Orb of Corrosion, or you need those early stat items I mentioned. You just go straight Battle Fury. You don't need any other items because of that enabling factor from Keeper of the Light to recall you around the map, to give you that mana. And your timing is now he's going to have BKB relatively soon. Like, there's going to be a very small window where Morphling will have the E-Blade before his BKB, and if he gets that BKB prior or doesn't die a single time, I just imagine he's going to run rampant this game. He's got so much enabling tools on his team. Beastmaster for the AoE physical damage, or Earthshaker for the follow-up stun and deterrent of ever committing onto the Ursa because of that Echo Slam threat. Prospects are looking good for Skeeter as he actually queues up the Blink Dagger.
Yeah, I feel like I've started to see Ursas go back for this armor. Of course, it used to be incredibly popular, and then it sort of fell off with the change to Earthshot. Bottom lane, oh no! Biver's going to get dragged into this. I don't know if he wants to be here. He's just lost his trip in. His father will die. He is able to TP out there, but that got a little hairy for a second then.
Yeah, he got handed a 2-man stun on Boxy. He's like, oh, bonus stun.
That's all good for Biver. He is out of there. But yeah, sort of Blink coming back into favor. I guess, you know, a lot of things have happened, right? You now down the line, you're going to have these upgrades. And for efficiency and moving around the map, Battle Fury and a Blink Dagger, you know, you're not going to be able to sweep through camps with any other sort of item as quickly as you can with these two.
It makes him a good follow-up as well to the Earthshaker.
See if they can burst through. Mickey, they can. Great jump from Biver. And even though he did have a bit of strength built up, it's a lot of burst here between Biver and 9.
Yeah, this game just looks so much simpler to play for the Dire squad.
They're ready to set up for another. Biver, he's in. Inkswell will catch Quaifer. Quaifer's going to look to turn it. Boxy jumps in. He gets a beautiful crush onto the 4 of them. He's trying to run them down, though. He's in. Another stun connected onto them all as 9 gets taken out. Quaifer's trying to bring him down, but 33 pops the Raw, and Skeeter will get the cleanup. Liquid trying their best to run back into them, but with sort of the deficit they have and the item ahead that some of the heroes of Tundra have, they just couldn't quite win that fight with the turnaround despite getting an excellent crush from Boxy.
Yeah, they kind of just need everyone alive on the side of Team Liquid. Even though it looked so good fighting uphill into them, 4-man crush, 4-man silence, they just don't have the follow-up. Morphling is their real AoE damage at this stage in the game with the wave form in and then burst one target into finishing them off with the sustained damage. The thing I wanted to mention about the Blink Daggers is my initial impression, I wasn't sure what to think of them because they're so expensive. But the fact is, a lot of carries love buying Blink. They just don't want a 2,000 gold item in their inventory when they're 6 slot. So suddenly, you can go for that early Blink Dagger and then 5th, 6th item, upgrade it to something that gives you a lot of damage with the Swift Blink. It gives you a lot of AoE control with the Strength Blink, and then some heroes even want the Arcane Blink like Ricky just to allow them to constantly spam their spells out. So it's a really nice quality of life upgrade that I'm a big fan of. Yeah. Just because I really do believe Blink was only not bought most of the time because it was a 2,000 gold item that took up a slot.
Absolutely. No, for sure. And especially when you can get away with it in this sort of game, Skeeter knows that that BKB is going to come out so quickly after it. With sort of the lead that they have and the way that he's going to be able to go from camp to camp with his Battle Fury and Blink. And yeah, sort of talking about the upgrades, as you said, you know, Ricky, a hero that's, you know, isn't agi, but the Arcane Blink, that the benefits are so beneficial that you do consider that upgrade. Are there any other sort of carries that you would unironically get the Arcane upgrade rather than the Swift?
I haven't necessarily encountered them. One I considered was Terrorblade just because of Blink meta and the Ags, but The Swift Blink, I think.
I mean, Swift Blink's just too good,
given
right?
recently.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's
so
75 damage, 75 attack speed,
uncapped
for 6
movement
seconds,
speed,
right?
you know.
Yeah, and then you're uncapped. Yeah, I played Slark yesterday. I was at 700 move speed, ulting through the fight after blinking in. That stuff is nuts, man. A lot of these carries. Late game, the best option is to force staff away from them. Like, that's usually what you want to do.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's hilarious when they force staff and then you're on top of them.
You're moving
half a
faster
second later anyway.
than the force staff, yeah. No, I wouldn't be surprised if we see that item having a bit of tinkering with. Because when it first came out, the upgrades, right, Swift Blink was pretty much the worst. Everyone was like, well, this is terrible. And then
they just buffed every aspect of it.
You know, it's the OD effect. You know, suddenly it's like it's in every game.
It really is.
Yeah.
I wonder when a new patch comes out if I'd rather be like a pretty decent hero or a decent item at the start of the patch, or like the absolute worst hero or item at the start of the patch. I feel like I'd rather be the latter, because Ice Frog seems to like overreacting and just buffing the ever-living shit out of these things.
I'm trying to. Is there any sort of unbought item? Wind Waker. I'm ready to see what happens to Wind Waker. You know, who's buying that item? Nobody. Wait for the buffs. It's going to be a global Yules. Wait, it's going to be amazing. As Liquid, they're moving into the pit. I've got it down to half HP, but I mean, Tundra definitely going to want to fight this. Bivory's got Echo Slam back in 10 seconds.
No exorcism to make it.
Yeah, they're spooked. They know this is very hard for them to try and force underneath the noses of Tundra right now.
Radiant are scanning.
Still,
I think it's the only objective Liquid can really threaten right now. And since they lack map control and they're against a hero like Beastmaster, that makes it really difficult to solo farm side lanes. The only thing you can really do to limit the efficiency of Tundra is to force them to group up. And so I think that's what Liquid's doing here. This is kind of like what I hear people call a fake Roche, where their intent wasn't necessarily to actually Roche. They just want to make Tundra stop splitting up and getting efficiency on the map.
Yeah.
Now they might do a quote-unquote real Roche with the Exorcism up, but with Echo Slam plus Coddle Blast, I don't know.
It's a lot of sort of damage just flying in. I mean, and they know if they go in, there is going to be a fight. They've got to be 100% sure that they're ready to take it.
This is when Keeper of the Light's the dream hero, though, for carries, because usually if I'm a carry and the enemy team's threatening Roche, I just have to sit there, making sure that they don't feel comfortable running into the pit. But with that recall mechanic, you can farm wherever the hell you want. You're a budget Spectre at this point. Going sheepstick on Keeper of the Light, pretty abnormal, I would say, but if you consider it with the fact that they have the Grimstroke, it seems to go twice the value.
Absolutely, and especially I don't know what is the standard sort of 15 talent, but if it is indeed the cast range, you know, that with the hex, suddenly you have no idea where you're getting hexed from. You just turn into a pig. You have no idea who's done it and where it came from. So.
Yeah, that Blinding Light cooldown talent is definitely outdated with the fact that Blinding Light's no longer one of his standard abilities. You only get it when you have your ultimate.
Yeah. So you get the cast range, you get an Ether Lens, you get yourself a lucky little item. I mean, dude, talking about the tier 5s, you get Seer Stone on Cottle, and you're hexing people at the tier 1 whilst you're in the base. It's amazing. It's true. It's true. Skeeter, he's got his BKB.
I believe you. I think that talent used to be like 300 or 400 cast range.
I think it did used to be more. Yeah.
Absurd.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good job they did turn it down, as Keeper of the Light kind of a good hero at the moment. Doesn't really need a lot more strengths than he has. And here we go, Boxy. Is he going to make the jump? He's going to get it in. He's able to get onto Skeeter and 33 at the backlines, but they're able to turn straight away. They move in onto Boxy. They'll get the E-Blade out onto Mickey. The Soulbind connecting Quakefer and Tiger for now. Skeeter committing with the BKB. Turns towards Tiger. Tiger, can he escape this? Mickey providing him safety here with the E-Blade. Keeping Tiger safe and alive. Boxy, he's heading back to join the rest of the team. They're trying to get out of it, Tundra. There's Boxy. He'll jump forward. He's been slowed down by the Necro Books. They've still got the Exorcism going. See if they can get anything out of this Boxy. He's got to be a little cautious. He bought back for this. Down to half HP. Biver still with the Echo Slam, good to go. They've got to be aware of this Shaker, ready for a jump in. As it will just be the two of them down and two of them buying back. But now with the Ghost coming to an end, Liquid's threat around the pit has definitely been reduced. I was having to push into some Fisher spam here, of course, from Insania, and in the fights as well from Mickey when he opts to morph into Biver.
And we saw some support morphling in that fight. He E-bladed his Tusk to keep him alive. He killed the Phantom off of his E-bladed Slardar. It's hard to enter the fight, though. There's really no one on the side of Liquid that feels comfortable. Boxy can blink in and offer a stun, but that AoE Slithering Crush is pretty low duration stun, all things considered. And here we go again, but
they're gonna try.
See a bit of deja vu here.
Oh yeah, they're making their way over.
Desperate.
Tundra.
Looks like they're desperate this time.
It's a good shot though. It's holding them off to the side, and they're taking it relatively quickly. Fada will now be able to break his way through. Biver, he's been brought in. It's low, but again, Liquid know that they couldn't quite do it quick enough. They've got to wait it out at the side. But again, they have managed to draw the attention of the full 5-mana Tundra to the area.
Yeah, they have Blink on Beastmaster now, so suddenly that Roar is much more of a threat. Instead of just the heroes that run in, they may actually be able to catch the backline supports. Insania, he's going to be far back with that Aether Lens, but maybe not far enough.
Now Liquid know that a wrong move here could be very costly in this sort of game where Tundra are just able to be that more efficient with the farming of their carries. Skeeter now nearly 5k ahead of Mickey's morph. And quite he's had enough. He's popping the ghost. He's shown his hand though.
Book for 20. This is actually pretty important.
Let's see if Tundra can get in time. Biver, he's trying to set in there. Jump forward for Skeeter, but Roshan's down. Mickey's able to pick up the Aegis. Skeeter pops the BKB in the enrage. He's stuck in the pit. He's surrounded by the fish. He will be able to turn and take down Tiger. He tries to Earthshock his way out, but he cannot get over the wall. Skeeter's dead. As Liquid, they got the objectives. They did lose Boxy and Tiger, but they got what they came for. They got the Aegis on Mickey. They got the kill, and they managed to bring down Skeeter.
That is by far the best case scenario I think I could have imagined for Liquid there.
There's Tiger trying to clear out mid. And looking pretty dead here. Yeah, Mickey can't do anything to save him. As the bug, the Phantom's Embrace, finishes him off.
Earthshaker's going to have the Ag Shard too. Even more annoying to play against this hero.
Biver. He's going for the setup. Did start to get the strength being built up though on Mickey. Over to the side 9. Looking to go for Insania with the E-Blade. Mickey losing all his mana hits the Necro Books. 9 continuing to stay on top of Insania with the Phantom's Embrace into the Inkswell. They'll bring down the Rubik. See if they can get Mickey as well. Another slow with the Solar Bind. He's losing his HP fast as he's down the once. Boxy's going to be back up in a second. We'll see if he's able to get over to provide any safety for Mickey. He's instantly out. Great silence from Quakefer stops any further lockdown coming into play before Mickey can waveform to safety.
Watching Mickey walk away with that boar constantly slowing him, his mana burned by the Necro Book, I'm getting some serious PTSD.
I was going to say you've been there, right?
Any carry players this patch, we all can sympathize with this. I don't know a worse feeling in the current patch right now. Maybe other than getting like Black Hold off cooldown, but that's about the 2 worst things I can imagine right now because it just renders you completely powerless. You can't move and you can't use spells. At that point, might as well just lose the Aegis and call it a day for the regen. I don't think Fada got the memo, as he is the only guy on Dire with no Blink Dagger.
That is true. He's got the money. Maybe he'll switch it up and join the rest of the gang. There's bottom Skeeter. Cleaning up kill after kill now. I mean, this bear is only getting scarier and scarier. The bash are done. Working on that Abyssal. That's Liquid. I mean, what's sort of Liquid's best move to make now? You know, being down 10k. How are they sort of looking at this? How are they approaching it at this point? Are they saying we've got to get Mickey sort of his next item done? Or, you know, how are they sort of thinking about this game right now, would you imagine?
It's about forcing a fight somehow, because when nothing's happening in the game, the fact is they have a Battle Fury Ursa and the kill threat of an Earthshaker Beastmaster on their side and the global map presence of the Keeper of the Light recall. It's just impossible for Liquid to match the efficiency during these downtimes that somehow, some way, they just have to plan a ward like Taiga's doing and hope Tundra walks into it so that they can take a favorable fight.
Talking about blinks, we've now got the blink on Quakefoot. As I mean, in these sort of fights, I guess if he is able to sort of get the blink silence on the backlines, I mean, ideal situation, getting like 9 and Biver is going to give pretty good coverage for Liquid to at least start the fight, getting a kill without having to worry about, you know, the Roar or the Fisher coming out and putting a stop in their tracks.
It's a little bit awkward because Death Prophet, Slardar, Tusk are about 90% physical damage, and then they've got this E-Blade. So they're going to have to be very careful not to botch that usage of spells, and also be like so well positioned in these fights that they get the silence on the crucial targets while also single target bursting the right guy. The execution threshold for Liquid this game is high enough if the game was even, I think, and they're down by 12,000 gold.
I'll go Tundra, ready to hit them with the smoke. Moving over from mid, see who they're able to catch. Liquid are as 5 though on the high ground of their triangle.
Yeah, I think Tundra, since they got their ward D-ward at top, they're chilling to not force a fight. They just, the timer's not on them. The Ursa will continue to scale. He's got an Abyssal to get, he's got an upgraded Blink to get, he's got a 6th item to get, and the fact is, Morphling's just not going to match his pace. On even farm, sure, I'd be scared of Morphling as an Ursa, but it's just the distribution of threats that really deters the Morphling from ever going alone, and that efficiency is palpable when you just look at the net worth. It's not like Mickey doesn't know how to farm. He just... The area of effect, the area on the map that he can farm, the real estate that he's got to work with, is basically his triangle right now. While Ursa is just blink Earthshocking from camp to camp constantly.
No, absolutely. I mean, as you say, like you look at the way that this game's gone, and you know, for Mickey, I mean, there's not really anything he could have changed in the way he's been farming to close the gap. More than, you know, more than the 6k difference that it is, right? He can't do anything different with his own play.
Yeah, it's just when you die once or twice early to Beastmaster, and he's on such a tightrope with that one, it's just hard to ever get your map control back as a carry player.
Quakefoot's going to get in with the Yule setup. Down into the silence, but the Soulbind's down in the Phantom Embrace. You're going to have Tiger going in aggressive underneath the tower, but Skeeter's there with the response. Takes Tiger apart immediately. Mickey tries to nuke down 9. 9, he's going to live as 33 is able to roll Mickey in place, and Skeeter is ready to chase. The bash is there on the first hit as they bring down Mickey. Liquid try to poke, but they lose the whole hand there. Insane is able to make it out, but 3 deaths. Quakefoot also committing the ult, and Tundra, they're even seeing if they can chase down Quakefoot, maybe find him. But nah, the blink out will keep Quakefoot safe. But 3 dead, and Mickey with his best efforts trying to get in there, but as we're seeing, you know, with the farm and the ferocity that Skeeter can punch with, and that DD, one bash just spells disaster.
Yeah, as far as I know, the only heroes that can actually farm against the likes of Coddle Beastmaster, just because of the ridiculous kill threat and global presence, is illusion heroes, because they don't have to physically be in the lane. They banned out the PL, and then all you've got left is Naga Siren and Terrorblade, and picking that into the AoE Blinding Light and in the Echo Slam is just... I don't know how you deal with these heroes, man. I see this dire draft. It's scary.
Back in the live action here, Fada will end up dying in the mid. They're able to catch a Skeeter. He's in on a Boxy though. With the Abyssal Blade done, he can stay committed onto him. Yules Quakefoot able to actually save Boxy at the last moment. The Skeeter's now got to be a bit careful. Tiger, he's thinking about chasing this. Doesn't quite get the sharp block, but Quakefoot's in with the Siphon. Soulbind and E-Blade down onto the 2 of them though. Tundra's ready to turn. BKB's back up on Skeeter. Jump for it from Beaver. He's got the Echo Slam. Down onto Tiger and Quakefoot. He takes them out. Mickey tries to get him, but 33's prepared with the Roar. Holds him in position. They turn and take him down, and they chase for more. Over to Insania. They kill off the 4.
And that's a Morphling illusion. That thing hits for 150% damage. That's like 400 damage for the Dark Portrait illusion coming out from 9, as that chunked Insania for a 4th of his health in 1 hit.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
And just so far ahead right now. 20k lead, and now starting to take some of the base as well for themselves, Tundra. As Liquid with the 4 of them down. Not much of a defense at all that they can offer, and tier 2's gone on the bottom lane as well. We'll see how much Tundra feel that they can get away with here. There's the mid, no question about it. That's one set gone. Already down bottom. Fada, he's trying to set up for Boxy. They bring him in, but Boxy out immediately. Knows that backup was going to be inbound, thanks to Fada, and doesn't stay any longer than he needs to be on that bottom lane.
Yep, the map just collapses so quickly. When they get recalled to Ursa bottom, suddenly that lane's pushed in, Beastmaster's pushing top, Coddle's running right back to his team and just recalling the Ursa again. So it looks like you'd think there's like this opening where Tundra is separated for a bit. That was like 5 seconds, and suddenly they're back together again with all the lanes pushed in. And Liquid's looking for something together, but obviously from what we see, they're not going to find anything.
Yeah, Tundra leaving no openings here.
Radiant's top tower is under
And Fada, just a few hundred gold off having that Hex complete. As if Liquid weren't having a tough time fighting into Tundra already. Now having to worry about that instant disable that Fada's going to have from a distance. And also, by the looks of it, the pickup of the Aegis and Cheese as Skeeter heads to the pit. Another brief pause here from Mr. 33. But this Roche should be theirs for sure.
Yeah, if there's symptoms that you're losing a game of Dota, it's when you look at the enemy 5 position and he's got a sheep.
Yeah, it's not going to make things easy for Liquid. They've got so many things they have to worry about in these fights. As any big items coming out soon for Liquid whilst they're playing from behind. BKB still a recipe away from Mickey. See, of course, Insania trying to get his Aghanims done. He's about halfway there. Boxy did manage to finish his BKB. And Quake for just 2,000 gold into the Shiva's guard. So still quite a bit of time for some of these cores to have their next bit of progression done. And time that they might not get given. And Tundra come running at them inevitably after they grab this Aegis Cheese. And the money that Skeeter will have to also have his S and Y complete. So this bear is going to be completely terrifying. And the XP from Roche also going to pretty much give him his 25. So some big milestones being hit here by the Tundra Esports lineup.
Yeah, I think we're going to see more and more S and Y as a 5th, 6th item for carries that didn't previously already have one. The fact that Satanic got removed as an option for stats resistance,
yeah,
it makes you, like, ease of execution and effectiveness of items like BKB just so much better late game. Like, you're going to get your Enrage off, you're going to get your BKB. The ability to burst you just doesn't exist anymore when you get that 25% stats resistance. So it's kind of funny how that item's developed, but I think it might be one of the most broken carry items this patch, and we're seeing it more and more. And now that I'm seeing a 6th item Sanjin Yasha, that kind of tells me a lot.
They're in. Skeeter. He's found the jump straight away. Insania's out of the fight. Buys back immediately. Tiger, he's been split for the rest of the team. Fisher down. Follow-ups there from Boxy, though, in counter play as he commits over towards Fada. The soul binds out onto the two of them, and the angle's there for Skeeter to just start swiping through them all as he brings down Boxy. Tiger has to run. Mickey will be able to clean up the back lines as Mickey's able to burst through Biver, but they've lost Boxy. They've lost Quakefa. Skeeter just picking up kill after kill, triple kill on the bear.
He just man-fought a Death Prophet that was ulting and just killed her. That's not a good sign when you're a Death Prophet and you cannot win the one-on-one.
I've seen very little that the Quakefa can do to keep himself alive right now, other than really hope that Mickey is going to be able to have the E-Blade ready to shoot out and protect him from this bear.
Yeah, Ursa's power progression this patch is just so fluid, so smooth. It feels like every single item he buys changes the hero's effectiveness and capabilities in the game drastically. The Battle Fury speeds up your farm, the Blink for gap close, BKB for team fighting, and the ability to like not be bursted, Abyssal to just solo kill really anyone in the game. Just all feels so good.
They're going to might find 33 here in the river. Boxy gets the jump in.
Okay. I think I was hearing Fogged earlier, step 1 of 10, something like that.
Oh, Skeeter. Oh, he was thinking about going in on it. But he wants to play it safe. Boxy, oh, he's been buffed up by the Inks for the snowball save. Tiger comes in. The Enrage has been popped. Buyback comes into play for 33. They turn with the Hex down on a Boxy. They bring him down. This Dark Portrait ends up killing off Insania there by 9. Mickey tries for the waveform TP, but Biver's in. Fisher and a slam to end Mickey's life and potentially the game here. 4 dead on Liquid. Quakefer, the last man standing, and they know it's over. GG is called. And Tundra